Well, it all entails that the problem is that the post, you see, you do what we call the impose suction and the rest, where you remove, just like you said, where you remove fats from one particular to the other, and it entails a lot of surgery and expertise to do that. And then we see people now, because I know the world is becoming a global village, where some people now go overseas, learn a little act of it and bring it here. But normally it's done probably in the West, overseas, because they started it. And I think the main technology behind it is still there. So whatever people are going to do it there in Nigeria is more or less taking a risk. You understand? Taking a risk. The woman in question is unfortunate. She has died, but then, you understand, she wouldn't have gone to such a place without making sure that that clinic or whatever hospital has been doing such a thing before. But you can't say, maybe they must have done it before, but then just like luck was against her. So, but then, you see, the post trauma of all these things is what matters. Just like it's what pains. It's like it involves a lot of grafting, removing humans' flesh, skin for one part to fill the other part, which is in question now, where the interest lies on. If the buttocks want to raise or whatever, or their face want to change, something has to go out. Either the fat has to be removed and replaced, and then flesh grafting to other areas. So it entails risk, a lot of surgery, post-surgery infection and other things comes up to affect the physical being of such a person. If the person remains alive, so I think it's all about human nature not being satisfied with what God has given to them.
To even add to what you are saying before, there's a question that came to my mind for Wale, because I'm also thinking of the, I think there's a cultural misunderstanding about how resilient our body is and how, our body really is, because social media, the question I'm going to ask you is about social media, because social media makes everything looks like, the process is quick. We don't think about post-recovery. We don't think about even the revision surgery. We don't think about a whole lot of things. We don't think about, the processes that's involved in it. When we see something on social media, it just looks like it is. Because, when you were talking, you mentioned celebrity, Engineer Chris as well mentioned celebrity influences. But how do you think social media now has, help or worsen this, this misunderstanding, so to say?
Well, I think social media has been a huge contributor to how people understand beauty standards and how people are seeing themselves differently. Because over the years, before the advent of social media, people are confined within their own spaces. They also relate to their family. They get to see limited things from other people. And there's a certain perception about ourselves differently before we go to social media. Even aside from the things that comes to within our own body, the thing even within us, we question it when we go on social media. You think about how much money you have, you think about the influences you have, you think about the places you can go and other places that people can go that you cannot be able to afford, you think about the kind of car that other people are driving. So social media is a place where there's going to be pressure, and there's a pressure there because it is a place saturated with so many contents, whether it is true, whether it is bad, whether it is kind, whether it is brutal. There are lots and loads of opinion or loads of ideas or loads of content on that social media. So it's left for every individual to then pick from it and see, this is how I am. And that's why I think emotional intelligence also comes in, and also believing in your own self, believing in your own self-worth comes in before you are introduced to social media. That is why young people are being restricted from having access to social media, because it influences them. Whatever way we look at it, if we look at the content on social media, even if we do not take action based on what we've seen, we think about it ourselves differently. If we see our mates doing something and we are not there yet, for a few seconds you think about it, unless you arrest your own thoughts and say, no, this is how I've lived my life. I have been also successful. This is what I've done with my life. So social media creates that space for delusion, where you can begin to think of yourself so low, and you think of other people's life as being better than yours. So that's exactly the background or the context with which people are seeing other people's bodies and seeing that what they can do with it. If you have a beautiful body, if you have a big behind, you can actually get more money from men. You can enter into spaces where people that do not have sort, people that are not so endowed can do, and also the pressure even on social media. Content is being produced around Brazilian butt lift as well, to say that, oh, you have a big behind. Content skits are being produced around it. Music videos are, you see, a lot of women lifestyle entirely is built around the Botox. So that is where we need to look at the problem, that if the Botox, where it's supposed to be the rare end of your life, has become the major focus of your life, where you're not thinking about what you want to eat, you're not thinking about your own health. You mentioned that it is more often perceived as a beauty cosmetic procedure rather than a huge medical procedure, because it's a complicated, just like Engineer Chris has mentioned, there's issue of skin grafting, there's the issue of the liposuction, where tissues are being taken, fats from one part of your body and deposited in another part of your body. There could be a whole lot of complications. They could have done it for 10 million people, but your own body is different from just the way my own body is different. But if you do not have those professionals that are there, that will be able to look at your own peculiar needs. I mean, when you go to hospitals, even in cases of emergency, if you have a family member there, they will ask the person, is this person allergic to any particular drug? Is this person, does the person react differently to a certain kind of injections or some certain kind of antibiotics or the likes, whatever drugs they want to give to them. Even for anesthesia that they want to give to somebody, they need to look at it. The anesthetist has to come, anesthesiologist, I beg your pardon, has to come and say, okay, what dosage can I give to this person? Is it going to be a local anesthesia? Is it going to be a general one? But I don't think they have all of this in all of these quack facilities. That all young people are going there. They're going there because of the cheap service as well. They're going there because of the quick and reliable social media content that has been produced around those facilities. You say that, oh, go to this Lekki facility. And I think government needs to go and raid houses in Lekki to see, okay, if you have a place, maybe there's even a one person's bedroom or one person's flat that they've turned into a clinic where they're just butchering people up and down. Because it's a really gory scene to see a human being dehumanized in such manner, in pain, in deep pain, until she lost her life. And I fear that people are not still going to be dissuaded from this, because they're going to continue to pursue this because of what they believe that they can get out of it. If I get this, I get to meet with one senator. One senator will be able to rub my leg and what is it called, when I'm going with them on a private jet. So all of those things are things that people see. And even home build, family, building your children, treating them in the way of God, in the way of good manner, good behavior, and seeing themselves as a vessel rather than the
children of God that really need to. I mean, you are going to hear it's beauty. It's about my, how do they call it?
And we need to, lastly, we need to understand that cosmetic surgery is here to stay. Whether it is your nose, just like Zikaluma has done, or it's your face, or it's the tummy tuck, or it's you want to reduce your body fat, or whatever it is you want to twist your body into another thing, it has come here to stay. How do we regulate it? Because everybody has a monopoly on whatever they want to do with their body. If I say I want them to cut off under my leg today, and I want to work with what is it called, a prosthetic leg, I have the right to say they can cut it. I'm not sure there's any law in Nigeria that will say that they should not cut off the leg from my body, but they should be able to look at the institutions or the clinics that are doing this. Are they regulated? Are they equipped with the right resources? And do they have the right doctors as well? And it's mostly all of these hospitals, they just bring white people. And when Nigerians have seen a white person like this, oh, everything is settled for them. They just say, whatever this white man has, wherever he has come from, that means he's the best person. While we have the best in Nigeria, if you want to do it, go to a government hospital. Maybe they will even do it for you and give you post BPL care to ensure that you stay alive and you are not causing chaos for yourself and your family like this at the end of the day.
I mean, when we were talking, I was just this is going to Engineer Chris, because I'm thinking about the 2 points you raised there. First, one that is hardly talked about how this affects our economy, and Engineer Chris is going to talk about that. Because then secondly, I think you pointed on self-esteem and beauty standards, but we are coming back to you on that. But for Engineer Chris now, because one thing I find, I was trying to mention the other time, one thing I find very interesting about the rise of all of these cosmetic procedures in Nigeria is that it's these days it's reflecting that broader shift in how wealthy you are, how, you know, it's kind of, it's a way of displaying wealth these days. It's a way of displaying status these days. It's a way of, you know, showing. It's a symbol of status. It's a symbol of riches these days. And this thing is particular. It's an asset now. It's an asset. If you can afford it, then you're a big girl or you're a big boy or something like that. And the idea of investing in your body now is now being discussed in the same way that we talk about invest in your business, invest in fashion, invest in this, invest in your future, and all of those things. People tell you invest in body, and you know this idea of how do they call this self-actualization? You know, build yourself. Elevate yourself, upgrade yourself, and all of those things. And you see, when all of these clinics wants to advertise these things, they make the procedure look more like a lifestyle upgrade. They post it in 2 weeks. You have seen someone, you'll be like, okay. Then that's where the idea of it is a surgical operation is shifted, and then you take it as, okay, it's a live upgrade, it's something that I used to, you know, many of these celebrities that have done it, they'll come out when they share their story, it means, and I have my confidence back. Yes, that was the word I was looking for. And I have my confidence back. I can now go to different places. Where did you throw the confidence before? And because these procedures can, now talking about how much these procedures cost, most of these procedures can cost between 3 million to 7 million and even more, depending on the clinic you go to and depending on where the geographical location. Did you travel outside the country to do it? And also it signals the economic you know, capability. But in a country like Nigeria, sir, where we are complaining about economic downturns, struggles, poverty, and all of these things, because this thing is prevalent with young people, where do young people see this kind of money to do it? What are the economic implications of this?
The economic implication of this trend is more or less, it tells on what we call the national psychic cost. Because it shows that the national psychic has depreciated more or less. But people are no longer believing, people who see it as a trend, believing that they can spend a lot, their life savings just to go and change their physique or whatever. And now they eventually know that even as such money comes to maybe to medical areas of our economy, it also shows that people are beginning to think twice. Should I do it in any of the clinics or hospitals in Nigeria, or should I go overseas to do it? Those who decide to do it here, use all their life spent money to go and maybe change their physique or whatever. They now begin to think twice. And what it does that it more or less, it changes the, more or less, it drives the capital flight of the money that should have come into national economy, in a sense, to other countries. Even the last, when we call the third world countries that are better, like maybe like Indians. You know, people go to India to go and do such things because they believe that the Indians are better when it comes to this thing. And when you see most of the doctors in Lagos, like all these plastic surgeons, mostly Indians who do that, you understand. And some of them are not the best in their own place. But just like you said, coming here, you see them as a white man. And they are good, they are white, you understand. They could be even one of the senior nurses there, but come here, they just look for one clinic and become doctors overnight. And people go to patronize them. So at the end of the day, it's called that our health services is more or less being put to question. Are we really there? Are we really driving to achieve the best when it comes to health issues in this country? So it now tells to the national, or what we call the national input of what comes to the nation when it comes to health issues. Our money, there's capital flight. People are gradually leaving. It's not even most of the people in government no longer believe in what we have here when it comes to healthcare. They go overseas. It's only the downtrodden or those people who decide to struggle and maybe hearing that there's a clinic somewhere that they can do this and do that, and they go there and get themselves other disfigure for life as if they survive it. So it all, you understand? So it tells on the moral, economic aspect of the nation. You can understand. The money that's supposed to come to our nation and even the belief in our health system is no longer, it's more or less depreciating, not being wiped off. Because people no longer believe in our healthcare services. And when it's got that, for this woman in question now, people are beginning to ask questions. Where do I really want to do the next if I want to do it? Should I do it in Nigeria or should I go to Ghana? Some people go to Ghana to go and do such things.
Yes.
Now, people go out now. So now going to questions our health capacity as a nation now.
Instead of thinking of the health risk.
I come to question now because people are not looking at there's a lot now. Is where can I do
Where
it?
can I go
Which
next?
country will I go to next?
Or should I double the money? Maybe she didn't pay more.
So in the God at all this, it now tells on our economy. Our economy when it comes to that, we want us to have come through the health system because everything drives to the center, which is what they call the economic factor of the nation. And the health is no longer what people rely on again. So it boils down to the people, the policymakers, the establishment, making sure that there are way of these checks in what we call our health system and our healthcare services. People should be able to look at it and say, yes, are we really growing? And if we are growing, I think the Minister of Health and the health sector should look at what actually is driving this economy. Is our health sector growing? Or if it's growing, who are doing as well as there should be a pool of hospitals that does such operations because now it's not for all hospitals that do this or health centers. These are specialist hospitals, in quote, because some of them are claimed to be that. So, but understand, so that our health minister and the health ministry should be able to look at all these things. I have a database of hospitals that go into such, and make sure there's a forensic audit on if actually these hospitals do what they are supposed to do, and have the requisite medical personnel to carry out such operations in future. If not, it should be closed.
The thing is that most of these operations are not even done in regular hospitals. I think they're done in beauty, cosmetic hospital clinics, or what do they call them? And I think that is where the conversation about regulation comes in that Wale was talking about, and it becomes. I think it's going to become very uncomfortable for many people, but it is necessary because if you notice that most of this cosmetic surgery sits in a very complicated regulatory space in Nigeria, it is medicine. But when it comes to talking about the beauty aspect of it, how it is going to beautify people, we regard it as more of a business rather than the medicine aspect of it. And if in Nigeria, most of this medical practice is regulated by, I think, what do they call this regulatory body? Medical, dental, I think, is it Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria? I think that's the name. And most of this, in theory, these surgeons that carry out these operations will tell you that they are licensed and their facilities are licensed to, and under the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, we are supposed to have licensed medical practitioners, licensed medical facilities, standard medical facilities. But the reality is that most of this cosmetic surgery has expanded even faster than regulatory. They have grown. I mean, they have grown past regulatory enforcement. They are still growing faster than it because I mean people are just looking, and that's why I asked about the money of the issue of the economics behind it, because just like you mentioned, some people now will now say, oh, maybe she didn't go to the right hospital, she didn't pay, a huge amount of money, so I'll start thinking of another alternative. Which country will I go to next, or how am I'm going to top up the money? She didn't go to a good place, maybe I'm going to top up the money so that, I get, and I begin to wonder, where do young people get this kind of money? And then we still complain about not having money to do this. Okay, social media is now here. We are doing content creation and getting money. But I think what all of this regulation and all they talk about regulatory enforcement, what it really means is that some clinics are operating in gray areas, like both of you rightfully mentioned about some foreign doctors coming to the country, especially when we have that when we see a white person in quotes in Nigerian hospital or in any Nigerian clinic, and we just automatically feel like, okay, this person is right, for the job. We're equating competence with race now these days. But Wale, about going back to self-esteem before we try to round up, going back to self-esteem, because you mentioned something about self-esteem, you hit on it, but you have not really, entered it very well. Talking about self-esteem now, I just wanted to build on that and say something about, it.
Well, I think self-esteem is something that has to be built from childhood. It's something that should be instilled in a child. It's something that should be internalized from a very tender age before you become an adult. Because as an adult, you're exposed to a lot of things. And as an adult, if you're not somebody who has solidified your mind to a particular cause or to a particular vision for your life, you are susceptible to being influenced by a lot of things that happen in the society. And all of these things makes you to see yourself as a lesser part of the society. You want to be among the people who are considered to be the people in charge, people in vogue, people that are up to par with the trend, with the standardized way of living. So all of the issues around life, around you growing up, will expose you to this kind of pressure. It comes from peers, it comes from you seeing things online, it comes from people that you also observe their own life in places you live, in schools you go to as well. So there's a lot of influence possibility in everywhere a young adult will turn to. But a young adult must also be aware of themselves. That is why I said the work must have been done from home or from school or from important or reputable institutions that are contributing to building a child's life. Because when they become an adult and they are influenced by all of these things, they are that motivation overrides everything that they know about themselves. They see themselves differently. They see themselves as somebody who is less of a member of a society, or has less money, or is less beautiful. Or is less endowed in different areas of the body that they want to feel. And they really think about the things that matter, which is good health at the end of the day. Because it is only when you have a good health, when you have good food to feed yourself, that you go into issues like this, that you want to put yourself in situations that would require you to put your life at risk. So all of these are the issues that I think we need to look at before we leave our homes. Our parents need to have done, or the people that are taking care of people that are becoming young adults, adolescents, because those are the age that are exposed to social media. Because there's nothing that takes somebody through a life turbulence more than being aware of yourself. And being aware of yourself is also a lifelong process that you need to continue to do for yourself. Your parents have done something, your words have done something, the people in your religious society, if you're a religious person, or people in your family, extended environment have done something for yourself, then you need to build your own capacity, build your own self-worth, build your own resilience to all of these negative things that might want to come your way. But when you see people that are easily influenced, they are influenced by alcohol, they are influenced by taking different kind of narcotics. So when you are exposed to this kind of lifestyle and society, there's really little you can do to restrict yourself from venturing into things that other people are venturing into. You're in a hostel and you see all of your classmates there, or your roommates, they are going into this, they have a certain kind of a perception about life. One day or another, you start to think like them. They say, show me your friend and I'll tell you who you are at the end of the day. So the company that we keep as well determine if you need to distract yourself from people, if you need to also think about your future. I think people think less about what they can do for themselves and more about thinking of their body as an asset to making them like a close proximity to wealth, because they see it as a means to an end. And that is what we need to stop from our own psyche. It is not a means to an end. Your body is there for you to walk. Your body is there for you to live. Your body is there for you to enjoy all the good things that the biological body affords you to do, not for you to twist and turn it. But like I said, cosmetic surgery has come to stay. There are some people who are even recommended to do cosmetic surgeries for some certain kind of thing to make their life better. But we've seen now that we do more of that instead of less more of medical recommendation and more of beauty imposition, I should say.
Okay. I mean, if you are botched, that's what they always say, it's allowed. I mean, if you are not comfortable, there's some people who take it there, okay, me too, I'm not comfortable with not having a big behind, like you said, or not having, you know, an hourglass body or something, so I feel it is only right for me to go and do it. But if you are botched, me, I'm saying if you are botched, then you can, you know, go, maybe you have...
Before there's a South African man who runs a gym. I mean, you can go there as well.
And get your body fixed. But then let's look at the I mean, Wale, you've just given us one aspect of the way forward, which is tied to what's the individual role in this, and building self-esteem, you know, building, self-actualization, you know, and all of those things. But sir, we're talking about, because we have modern, what do they call it, healthcare challenges are evolving. Before it is about awareness about HIV, before it is awareness about malaria, even until now. But more attention has been poured to, you know, malaria, headache, tuberculosis, hypertension, and all other health issues. But these days we are noticing with cases like this, we are noticing that health challenges is evolving. We are not talking of body modification. We are not talking of, you know, all of those elective procedures that are becoming part of the conversations. And even if a procedure goes wrong, a surgical procedure goes wrong, they can pose health challenges too as well. So coming here today talking about this BBL and the health implications, it's a health challenge, it's not a new health challenge, but it is new now because it is becoming a serious, you know, issue. What do you think government and, you know, medical associations may need to, you know, start doing about educating the public and so?
The government and all our medical associations, as they are attached to other medical, I think universally, medical associations are all the same all over the world. But the basic thing is that they should start, first of all, making sure that where it's concerned, that's where we call the control area. In this case, Nigeria now. Nigerian Medical Association and other affiliates should make sure that medical institutions who are responsible for such specialized area of surgery and the likes have qualified medical personnel. And there should be like this, there should be on the side visit of all the registered hospitals, making sure that if you are listed in such bodies that perform such things, because in these days it's quite medically, there's not like errors in medical. There are human beings normally all over the world, right from inception, are used as guinea pigs. And I say, yes, that's true. There are still licenses to kill. So if you died due to a mistake of a surgeon, there's no question about it. All of us know what happened to.
So it won't be counted as a negligence.
Yes, negligence. No, understand. Except there's a medical board instituted against such a particular case.
Okay.
But if not, they can just say it's normal procedure. You understand? So the idea is making sure that you go to a qualified hospital, they're registered by the government, and government must make sure that such institutions are well looked at with their in terms of medical personnel and the equipment. You understand? So the era of using a human being as a guinea pig should be over. Then make sure that they should make sure that they publish, there's a published, either an annual gazette or whatever, that make sure that all these hospitals, specialized hospitals, are listed, gazetted, so that people who want to have a database, who wants to carry out such operation, have a place to go and cross-check before ever throwing themselves as part of the guinea pigs.
Indeed, but lastly, if I may add that this is an industry, it's a medical procedure that is elective, just like you mentioned. And if these are not critical medical issues, so if we have government that we're putting money in malaria, we're putting money in HIV, we're putting money, I will not say that, okay, because people want to do uplift
put money in making sure people are confident as well.
People want to uplift their voice, so we need to leave all of these areas and put money in butt lifting. I think that's an area where the government would disagree with.
But I think I still agree with having a database for all of this.
That's important. I'm just talking about where money comes in, and where investment. I mean, if we look at the health sector, we don't even have enough money to pay for. Is it not that area?
We are not adding to our health challenges. And finally, just to add to it before we go, at the same time, I'm talking about building awareness, how government should, create awareness, and also medical practitioners, how they should create awareness, and those involved in it, because some medical practitioners are still going to come out and argue fairly for it that they are on the right path. So I mean, it's going to sort of scatter their own. I don't know if that's the right language to use, but you know, tell on their own jobs negatively and all of those things. But for those who may argue fairly for this, I'm just saying that they should try to create awareness. Educate people, educate their clients. I wanted to say customers because it's more like a business now. They should educate their clients about this, or their patients. I don't know if it's right for me to say patient about this. They should begin to have honest conversations with them and let them understand that some things do not need any beauty procedure. It's hormone. Your body is changing because you are aging. Your body is changing because your weight may fluctuate because you are a woman. You may be in your menstrual period. All of these things. Your hormones is shifting. So they should understand all of this things. Make people understand all of this and make them understand that a surgical result may look good when you are 25 years and may look different when you are 40 years, may look different when you are 60 years, and all of those things. So they should understand all of these things and bring it to people's, awareness, like Engineer Chris said, so that you will not end up being guinea pigs. And I think that should be had before. I mean, all of those discussions should be had before, you get your body altered. And so that's just my takeaway, and that's the much we can take for today on the discussion segment. But we'll bring you up with what's trending after this. But thank you very much, Engineer Chris, for always coming around. And yes, we had a great discussion with you. Let's go on this break. We'll be right back with what's trending.
Synthetic biology advances. Synthetic biology is pushing science into new territory. Using AI-guided gene editing, researchers are engineering organisms to produce biofuels, biodegradable plastics, and even synthetic meat. In 2023, Ginkgo Bioworks announced partnerships to design microbes that can manufacture sustainable chemicals at scale. Moderna and BioNTech are expanding mRNA technology beyond COVID vaccines to treat cancer and rare genetic diseases. The global synthetic biology market is expected to surpass $30 billion by 2030. By 2026, the line between biology and technology will blur